Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, what am I doing inside? Yeah, it's raining outside. Can't go outside. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that it would stop raining, then I would be able to get out there, but nope. Every time I keep looking, the next hour, rain. The next hour, rain. The next hour, rain. It's not going to happen today. I actually recorded a video for you, but I had some technical problems going on that video, so I couldn't use it. Yeah, I took the Area 13 Blackbird out. Yeah, it's one of the bikes that I have up for sale. But yeah, wasn't going to happen. Try as I might. I tried to be a day ahead of you guys. And yeah, after doing the entire ride, I came back and I looked at the footage and I said, nope, can't use it. So I'm inside again because it's raining today. Now I can't get out to ride. So I was thinking about what should we talk about since we're stuck inside, we can't go out. I figured an interesting topic would be, what would be my ideal bike? Yeah, what is my ideal e-bike? I've had several bikes now, right? I don't know how many we've gone through. 26 maybe, something like that. There's quite a few, right? We've turned down a number of them too. I think we're up to like 86 bikes I've turned down now. Yeah. When I say turned down, I'm talking about e-bike companies who have offered me a bike to do a review for, and I just simply either did not respond back to them or I just outright turned them down. So yeah, we have quite a few bikes that have been turned down. But, you know, there's just too many, so I can't take everything. So I just turned most of them down. And the ones that do make it through here are usually for companies that I'm familiar with or have a decent reputation or something that stands them out a little bit. If the bikes are a little different, then I'll give it a try. Even if it's brands maybe sometimes I don't really know that much about. But if it looked like an interesting bike, I might give it a try. So anyway, what kind of bike would it be that I would actually want to be made for me? All right. I figured that would be a good topic to talk about. You know, what would I really like to see? Well, we all know I ride relatively quickly. I don't go for really slow. I think I average 18 to 22 miles per hour is probably my average speed as I ride. And at times when I'm riding on the street and I have to compete with the cars, I will do as much as 28 miles per hour. So let's talk about speed first, okay? And then we'll talk about designs and things like that. So I think I need to have a bike that is a class 3 bike. Yeah, I really do. And class 3 in the sense of not a pure class 3. I want that throttle to do 28 miles per hour if it's at all possible. Now we know that pure class 3 bikes, let's go through classes real quickly too, because I know a number of you guys have had some questions about what is a class 1, 2, or 3. Class 1 bike basically means it does not have a throttle. You have to pedal it, but the assisting motor will help you up to 20 miles per hour. After it gets to 20 miles per hour, the assisting motor kind of stops helping. And if you want to go faster, you can, but then you'd have to pedal everything on your own. There's no motor helping you past 20 miles per hour. That's what a class 1 bike is, okay? No throttle. Class 2 bike is the same thing, but it also includes a throttle. So you can throttle up to 20 miles per hour. And if you want to go faster, you can go faster, but you'd have to pedal it all yourself. The motor does not help you beyond 20 miles per hour, but you do have a throttle as well as pedaling, okay? And then class 3, you do have a throttle, okay? But it'll only help you up to 20 miles per hour. But if you pedal hard, the motor continues to help you up to 28 miles per hour, okay? So you have the best of all in a class 3 bike. I want a bike that doesn't really do a pure class 3. I want a bike that the throttle also brings me to 28 miles per hour. Now, many of my bikes will do that. And I guess if you go based on the letter of the law, those are not technically class 3 bikes because they're skirting the issue because their throttle helps to 28. I kind of like those. It's not really the letter of the law, but I kind of like them because I do use the throttle up to 28 miles per hour, especially when I'm on the road and I'm competing with the cars. When I talk about competing with the cars, I'm talking about when I'm riding on the street with the cars. I want to be able to ride with the throttle at least 28 miles per hour. Yeah. Because there's times you have to be a little faster than you know. I think you're actually safer if you go a little faster when you're on a road. And, you know, cars are doing 30 or 40. If you're crawling at 20, it doesn't seem too good, all right? Cars are passing you all the time, and you have more chance of getting hit, I think. But if you're able to keep up with them and you're kind of almost like alongside of them as they're going 30 miles an hour and you're doing 28, you have a better chance of survival. That's my feeling on it. So yeah, I'd like to see the law change a little bit where throttle is allowed to 28 miles per hour. What would they call that? Class 4? Well, they got to have something. That's what I would prefer. Okay. Now let's talk about fast bikes, because a lot of you guys have asked me, hey, why don't you get this bike and why don't you get that bike? Okay, we'll talk about that too in a second. I'm not really that interested in bikes going too much faster than 28. Now, if the bike can do 30, because I do have 1 or 2 bikes that can actually do 30 miles an hour, fine, that's fine, okay? What about 40? What about 45? No, I don't think so. I already feel kind of uneasy when I'm already at 28 and 30, okay? So I don't want it to go that much faster than 30 miles per hour. So if a bike is offered to me and it has that ability to go that fast, would I take it? Yeah, I might try it, but it's not my preference to get that bike because of it, okay? So let's talk about brands too, because people have asked me, have you tried this brand? Have you tried that brand? I think I mentioned many times, it's in the comments, and I guess if you don't read the other comments, you won't know, but I've mentioned many times to people that I don't take bikes by asking for the bikes. Okay, I think when I first started the channel, I asked for a couple bikes. I never heard from any of these companies, so I kind of just stopped. I said, forget it. I'm not gonna be asking for bikes. I'm just gonna take bikes that are offered to me. So on my behalf, many of you guys have actually contacted companies and said, why don't you give a bike to RUSSISRIGHT and let them do a review, okay? Never heard from any of those companies either, okay? So even though you may help me by doing that, I don't hear from them, okay? There's one manufacturer who's actually very close to where I live. I don't know the actual distance, and they may be, 10 miles from me. I don't know. They're relatively close, and it goes really fast, okay? You might know which brand that is. Yeah, several of you guys have contacted them. I've never heard from them, okay? I don't think they actually want me to have a bike. And the reason is because we know that another YouTuber gets their bikes all the time and it's been promoting them. I think they're fine with that. He's a little younger than I am. He promotes a lot of, how fast can I get this to go? How much can I get this to happen? And what can I do to modify my bike to do that? I think they're more into that type of guy than it would be for me, because they might know that most of my demographics are usually older folks, my age or older, and we're not 100% really as a group looking for bikes that go really, really, really fast. Okay, so I think they kind of realize that, and that's probably why we've never heard from them, even though they're close to me. They probably wouldn't benefit a whole lot by me having one of their bikes. Now, having said that, if they offered me the bike, would I take it? I would say, yeah. I would like to try it out, but I don't really realistically know whether having me review that kind of bike would really help them, okay? Because the people watching my videos probably may not be into that, okay? So that's the reason why sometimes you don't see me with certain types of bikes, or why haven't you tried this? And it's because they have never contacted me. I only take bikes if the manufacturer contacts me, okay? I don't contact them, all right? Okay, so that's that. So what about the style of bike? What kind of style of bike do I like? I mean, I have beach cruisers, the electric bike company Beach Cruiser. I have various Magicycle bikes. I have, well, let me see. What would they call? I have commuter style bikes. I have, I hate to say mountain style bikes because they're really not mountain bikes, but I think they call them more like cruisers, even though they're not really like beach cruisers. But I have cruiser style bikes. I have step over bikes. I have step through bikes. Which ones do I really like? All right. So I would say for me, when I first started out, I wanted step over bikes only. All right. And my thinking behind that was the fact that if I wanted to put a triangle battery between that triangle of that step over type bike, because it's got a top tube, right? I could do it. And you can't really do that on a step through type bike because there is no top tube where you can attach the triangle battery to. So I only wanted step over bikes, but over time, Mrs. Wright was inviting me to try to get some more step through bikes because she says, it's harder for you to swing your leg over. You're getting older now. You have a bad left leg and everything. And it says, why are you taking these step over bikes? You should get step through designs. So I started taking step through designs. So I would say at this point, I probably prefer a step through type design because it's a little easier to get your leg through it. But I can still ride a step over bike. All right. I have several step over bikes still, and I keep them because I kind of like them. So, but I guess going forward, if I said, what kind of bike would I want to really get at this point? I would say probably a step through design. Yeah. What about commuter bike versus, something with a 4-inch fat tire? I still typically prefer the 4-inch fat tires. I think they're more flexible. Like if I had to jump up onto the grass or something like that, I can do it really quickly and not worry about it. Or, if I hit a little bit of, loose gravel, I don't worry about it as much. But if I'm going to be mostly on the street, which I'm usually at, the thinner tires aren't so bad, like 2-inch type thin tires, 2.25 inch or whatever the actual numbers happen to be, 2.7 or whatever they happen to be. I tend to prefer that. What about 26-inch, 24-inch, and 20-inch tires? I think at this point, I would like to find 24-inch tire bikes. Yeah. 26-inch, I had a number of them, but they're usually the frames are fairly big, and it makes it tougher to deal with. So I think a 24-inch tire with a frame appropriately sized for 24-inch would probably be my preference if I can find it, and a step-through type design of that. Okay. Derailleurs. What do I want for derailleurs? I like trigger shifters on for my shifting system. I prefer the trigger shifters over the typical Shimano SIS type shifter. It's just a little bit easier. I like the Shimano style as well between the various trigger shifters. So I don't prefer the cheap derailleur either. Like for instance, Shimano has a Tourney, and then they have the Acera and all this other. I want the ones a little bit higher up. So the bottom of the line shifters, they work, but I know there's better better derailleurs. Okay, I know there's better versions of the derailleurs, and I want at least something like an Acera or something like that. Okay, and then belt drive versus chain drive. I have a belt drive bike. It's a commuter style bike. That's the Magicycle Commuter. Very quiet bike. Okay, but I think most of the ones for the speeds and the things that I do are typically chain, so it probably would have to be a chain style bike. All right. What else do I like? Between brakes, absolutely has to be hydraulic brakes. Okay, having had mechanical disc brakes and hydraulic brakes, give me the hydraulic brakes. Okay, and as far as rotors, at least 180 millimeter rotors. I have one bike. It's the Blackbird from Area 13. It's a 203 millimeter thing. Yeah, so. Yeah, give me 4-piston hydraulic brakes. That would be like the the Tektro Dorado brakes. Yeah, recently we had a video out where I had to stop really quickly because a car was coming by and I didn't see him. It was being blocked by an Amazon truck. And then when I started heading out, I immediately saw him go past that truck. So then I saw there was a car. I slammed on the brakes so hard that my rear tire went up. I was literally on one tire now, front tire only. My rear tire was rising up. That's how hard you can hit a hydraulic brake. So I think had I had the mechanical disc brakes at that time, I would have still been sliding forward. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, give me some hydraulic brakes, okay? What else? Style-wise, yeah, maybe a cruiser style bike is what I prefer. In this, not a beach cruiser. I'm talking like the Magicycle Cruiser or like the Himiway Zebra. That style of bike, yeah, something like that, something bigger. Give me at least 20 amp hour batteries, but give me at least 2 of them. Okay, better yet, integrate 2 20 amp hour batteries into the design. Yeah, so I don't have to shift it myself. It just automatically give me 40 amp hours. All right, figure a way to get me 40 amp hours all at one time. That's what I would like. Give me a way to also add an additional battery if I want to easily. So even if that's just like, turn the key, pop it out, pop a new one in there. Give me a rear rack so that I can carry an additional battery. But start me out with 2 of those batteries, all right? Integrated into the design. I would like that, yeah. Colors, yeah, give me something with color now. I think most of my bikes have been white and black or gray or something like that. I'm kind of getting used to the colors now. So yeah, give me actually I like the Eupphree's blue bike that I have actually up for sale right now. That's the City Robin X. Give me something like that. Give me something with a nice, rich blue metallic type color. That would be kind of cool. Yeah. So those would be the type of bikes I would like to have. I think something designed that way. 28 miles per hour with throttle, or up to 30 miles. That's fine with throttle. Step through, hydraulic brakes, 4-piston hydraulic brakes, high quality derailleur on it. What else? Cadence sensor. Okay. Torque sensors, I do have some bikes with torque sensors. Some of them don't work so well for me, others do. The Area 13 Blackbird is a torque sensor. I ride that bike with no problem. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Some of them you can ride well with the torque sensor. The current Euphree City Robin X Plus, I can ride that well with the torque sensor. Some bikes I can. Other bikes I have a hard time with the torque sensor. Mid-drive versus hub motor. I think hub motor. Yeah, I have the mid-drive bike that came in from Himiway. That's Himiway Rambler. I'm still hanging on to that bike. I want to use it to learn it. So, but it does take more effort and concentration of riding to do that bike right. And I mean, I'm getting better at it too as I'm riding it along. I haven't made lots of videos with it yet. I've made a couple videos with it, but as I'm riding it more often, I'm getting better at it. But I think between them, the hub motor versus the mid-drive, I'm a hub motor guy. Yeah, I need a hub motor with a cadence sensor, and also give me gear ratios so that the front crankset, the chain ring, has at least 54T, something like that, and at the rear end at least 11. So that way I can eliminate all the ghost pedaling. Yeah. So I think if I can get something that doesn't have ghost pedaling, has a good, strong motor with a lot of torque, okay? Torque is very important. 750 watt motor minimum, okay? Minimum. And with torque, that gives me, let's say 92 plus, something like that, Newton meters of torque. Something I can get over hills easily, not have to worry about it. Something that has good range too. That would be nice, okay? So I think that's the main things. If I can get a bike that does that, price-wise, $2,500 and less, and with full suspension, making it tough for everybody here, and with full suspension. Okay, if it was full suspension and had all the better high-quality parts, I would be able to raise that price to maybe $3,000 max, something like that. So let's say under $3,000 with all the stuff I basically mentioned. That would probably be my ideal bike. Yeah. So whoever's watching, manufacturers, if you're watching, design me something like that. All right. I would be really happy if I had a bike like that, and good customer service behind it. All right. Good customer service behind it. Don't give me a brand or a bike that, it gives you everything, but nobody's ever heard of this brand and they're a fly by night or something like that, and you have no support. It has to have good customer support. Okay. Good customer support. 3,000 and under, all the advanced stuff that I basically mentioned, I would be a happy camper. So in the comments today, tell me what kind of bike would you like? What are the components you want in there? How much are you willing to pay to get that? What's important to you? All right. Put that in the comments. I think this would be a good video to find out what everybody else likes. Now, let me mention this too. Some of the manufacturers do read the comments of the Russ is Right videos. So this is your chance to kind of mouth off and let them know, all right? Let them know what you really want. I think this is really helpful for them. They really want to find out, what does the consumer want? How much are they willing to pay for that? What's most important to you? Yeah, put it in our comments. Yeah, let them read it. And I may contact a couple of the manufacturers and say, you might want to watch this video, okay? Let's do that. We'll tell them to watch the video and then read the comments. Find out what the consumers are looking for. That would be helpful for them. It would be helpful for us. Okay? If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We are heading towards the 17,000 mark. We're trying to break 20,000 by the end of the year. Don't know if we can do it, but let's try for it. All right? Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time.